Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Hey there. This is Svava Brooks. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for being here and stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hey, friend. If you're here with us live today, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here. Tell me your name, where you're from, so we can welcome you and celebrate you because we are glad that you're here. Just like I said, my name is Svava Brooks. I am a trauma recovery coach, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I love to hang out here on YouTube, Periscope, with my fellow survivor thrivers as we work our way through my book, one day, one page at a time, right? Healing after abuse, neglect, trauma is hard enough. We tend to isolate a lot. Part of the whole disconnecting from the body, part of keeping ourselves safe. So finding a tribe, people to hang out with as we are reclaiming our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our spirits. It's easier to do in a community. So I want to welcome you if you're here. And if you have any questions about trauma or healing, we welcome all of them. And if I don't know the answer, I'm happy to turn it over to the tribe and see. There's lots of wisdom, big hearts in this space. Hey, friends, how are you doing? How were the holidays? And lastly, if you're curious about my coaching, one-on-one coaching, or the groups that I have, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com, or check out the links underneath the video. I do include some more information about the things that I offer. And with that, hello, hello, hello. How are we doing, my friends? How was Christmas? How were the holidays? It's nice to see you all. Rob, Wanda, Sue on her big trip. Hey, friend. Hey, Stock. What type of issues? I'm sorry, I'm messing with my device here. It also looks like there's a smudge on my screen, so bear with me. Cleaning off my device here. We're talking about recovery after trauma, abuse, or neglect. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad that you're here. So how are you guys? Sue made it all the way from UK to Oregon. You've been traveling the world this year, my friends. So proud of you. What about you, Rob? How was it? How were the holidays? You're going to get hammered tomorrow, Rob. Oh my goodness. Sue says it's fun, particularly with a 5-year-old. Oh, yes. Yes. Sue, there is never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Yes, Christmas with kids certainly makes it special. For sure. Remember those days, leaving the cookies out for Santa and the stockings and all that good stuff. Kids were great and saved your day. Gifts from, hey friend. Thanks, Daniela, for wanting to join. I'm not taking on any video chats today. Thank you, though, for being here. I got my hands full with YouTube and Periscope going at the same time and 2 chat streams going. But if you have any comments or questions, please post them and I'll do my best to keep an eye out and to answer your questions the best I can. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Daniela. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, friends, are we ready? We're going to go in deep. We're going to dig deep today. We are on day 360. Day 360 of the 365-day journey. Are we ready? And that's going to be I'm just putting it out there now. Between now and next year, January, everybody gets an extra assignment to kind of look back this year. That's right, Wanda. Wanda says, no, but that never stopped you before. I'll go easy on you. There you go. Thank you, Sue. As ready as we will ever be. So the extra assignment is, right, what's one big breakthrough that you can recognize you've had this year? One big breakthrough. And sometimes those big breakthroughs come from consistently taking baby steps. That was me. Really struggled with the big breakthroughs, but it was the baby steps. The baby steps every day, sometimes many times a day, is what finally and ultimately got me the greatest results. So if you're here and don't have the book and are not a part of our online community, it's okay. You're in the right space. You can hang out with us. I know you will benefit from this conversation if you're curious about trauma and healing. And we're going to talk about inner child work today, something that I'm a huge fan of. But if you are looking for a community to heal, to grow, to get some support and love and encouragement on this roller coaster ride that the healing journey is, please let me know. Because we are continuing the journey next year for another 365 days. And this book, you can really start anywhere in it. Each day is an independent thought. A little bit of truth, as I call it, and then a couple of questions for us to dig deep. All right, another question. Is that your book? Yes, that is my book. Excuse me. Rob said, I gotta say, it's the incremental. Oh, you just preceded me and talked about baby steps. Yes, I'll get out of your head, Rob. Yes, I did write this book. I am getting a couple of questions on Periscope. Yes, this was the guide. Actually, I've written 2 workbooks, right, for survivors, because I recognized after years and years of healing my own body and soul and mind and spirit and heart, after, growing up with trauma, I recognized it wasn't until I was committing, intending, compassionately choosing every single day, taking action on my life, right? Taking my power back. And often I talk about living from the heart, not the hurt. Not that the hurt is bad, but I didn't want to be stuck in it. I wanted to continue to work on moving, onwards, forward into my future without all the baggage. Instead of just continuing to take my past, right, and just putting it into my future, I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to feel a little bit of this, and then I'm going to choose what I'm going to bring forward. Who am I speaking to? Good question. There is a group of people here that have, over the year, been working together through this book. We have a closed Facebook group. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they give me permission to share their journal entries, their writing, to the answers to the questions in our book. And then I share it here in our community, and everybody learns. We learn and grow and heal together. So thank you for asking. The book is available on Amazon or Kindle. So thank you for asking. So today, like I mentioned, we are talking about our inner child. Oof, right? That was something that I resisted in doing. I'm moving things around here so I can look at multiple screens. Something I resisted for a long time, right? But really the big breakthrough, even though it was in those baby steps, it was when I recognized, wait a minute, nobody's coming to rescue me. No one is going to do the hard work of healing me except for me, right? And I had to find a way to take responsibility for all that hurt that was inside of me and learn to safely express all the feelings, all the hurt, right, that I had carried inside of me for so long. Hey, Tom. So, learning to become the parent and the protector that I needed was such a gift, such a blessing. Because not only did I get to reparent myself, right? I got to comfort and soothe that little girl, that wounded little girl that lived inside of me, who really didn't trust anybody really out there. She was actually just waiting for me to show up for her. That once I, right, got clear on how she was trying to communicate with me, and I'm going to take you through the steps. I slowly, it was hard in the beginning to reconnect with a body where I had been much more comfortable just living up in my head and focusing outwards and just doing what other people like were directing towards me, how I was supposed to be, or how I thought I was going to do, be, and behave because of what people were saying or doing or what was culturally acceptable out here. It was never really about what I wanted to do or how I was feeling. Oh, right? It was an exhausting hamster wheel. So, right? Your inner child, I'm having trouble seeing, I'm sorry guys, seeing some of the comments on the scope here, so bear with me. It's going to be a little crooked. Your inner child doesn't need to hear that what it believes is no longer true, right? Your adult self can see that with logic and wisdom. We can see that. But your inner child is just that, a child. Stuck in the age when trauma struck, and the child that didn't have the ability to cope with the trauma that it went through, the trauma that it was dealt, that is the self within you that needs to be validated. Your inner child needs to hear that his or her pain is valid, as we all deserve when we were young. And he or she needs to hear the loving and kind words he or she has needed to hear your whole life. And that's what I meant when what I said earlier is that when it dawned on me that I kept waiting for someone out here to come and to rescue me, to tell me it was going to be okay, to tell me it wasn't my fault, to tell me, right, that I wasn't bad, I wasn't broken, I wasn't stupid, that the abuse wasn't my fault. But this little girl in here that lived in here kept wanting that, and especially wanting it from people that couldn't give it to her. So once I realized, wait a minute, there is actually something I can do to comfort myself, I was all in. Yes, all in, wanting to learn, wanting to know how, even though it was definitely challenging at times. So, but we have, and that's what I'm bringing to you guys. I'm always looking for steps, the process, the how-to, because for so long it was like I'm pulling my hair out, people telling me what's wrong with me, but where are the steps to fix this? You know, I learned to be this way. I understand why my body does the way it does. I understand how it's impacted my thinking and my disconnect from my feelings, that it isn't safe to feel. What's the path to fixing it, right? To changing it, to learning to be different. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's see here. Yeah, let me start by setting this up here as well. Right? No matter how old we are, it is never too late to start to work with our inner child. Oh, I'm different, all right. And let's see here. But to allow ourselves to feel the grief from being emotionally abandoned, for being abused, for being hurt, right? That precious, my precious, beautiful, self was never validated. So the two questions that I asked in the group today: how have you validated the preciousness of your inner child? And how did your inner child respond? That was one question. And the other one was, how have you honored the uniqueness of your inner child? And how did your inner child respond? So before I share the two comments from the group members today, we have a couple comments. I want to share with you very quickly the process. This was developed by Dr. Margaret Paul, Inner Bonding, she calls her process. So in 6 steps, she shows us how to reconnect and heal our inner child. So 6 steps. Step 1. Right? Where do we start? We come back to our body, monitor our body through either just sitting down, quiet, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. I'm going to go through this quickly, but if you have any questions about it, please ask. Scan your body, maybe even do a little meditation, recognize or do a body scan, recognize where in your body do you feel anything other than peace and calm. Just coming into the present moment. Anybody want to share? What are they noticing? I'm laughing at you, friend. What do you notice? Where in your body do you feel anything other than peace? And then the question is, right, because chances are, if there is something going on in our bodies, I don't know, tightness in your shoulders, weight on your chest, tightness in your core, big pain in your back, tighten in my jawline and shoulders. Thank you, Wanda. Headache, yes, right? Often those physical symptoms are symptoms of some kind of emotional tension, right? Emotional pain, emotional struggle inside of us. So then the question is, do I want responsibility for my feelings? Big question, right? In the beginning, yes, I wanted to take responsibility for my life and who I was, but at the same time, it was a little scary. I don't know. What if these feelings are so big and I don't know what to do with them? What if once I start feeling things, I won't be able to stop it? That started for me when I was getting in touch with my tears. I was not going to cry. That was not safe. If I start crying, I probably will never stop. And then the same thing was, well, what if I let out this anger that I was just like, that was seething inside of me? What if I let that out? Someone's going to get hurt. So no, I'd rather not. But I recognized I could not heal without feeling my feelings that were clearly showing up as pain in my body. Sorry, but my neck is spasms out, big pain, which is clouding things, injury, more symptoms. I'm imperfect. I hear you, Rob. I hear you, friend. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Of course, if you have injury, right, that is different. If you have physical injury, please recognize that and be gentle with yourself. So the question is, right, and intention is powerful. Our energy and our thoughts follow our intention. So when I said, okay, I'm a little nervous about this, but I'm willing. I am willing. Yes, I'm willing to open up to the possibility that I can learn. May not know how in the beginning, but I'm willing to learn how I can take responsibility for my feelings. Wanda says, first, I had to learn that me accepting responsibility of my feelings was not me accepting or saying abuse was my fault. Yes, Wanda. Yes, I hear you. Very different things. Very different things. And that's important for us to recognize when we hear certain words. And I think responsibility is often heard as blame. Not saying blame. Not blame. Not at all. Responsibility is taking your power back to do the things that you can do. You will never be held accountable or responsible for the hurt, right? You were a victim. You were abused. That was not your fault. But what you can do something about now is that's in the past, but you're here now, yes, faced with some consequences, impact, things that you took on as a story or belief about yourself, right? We're going to keep the blame back there. No one is blaming you. But now that you're here, and what I'm inviting you to take responsibility for is your feelings now, right? And the hurt, if it's still here, needs to be addressed. Rob says, oh, I'm still getting angry very quickly and cussing under my breath, which may be very indicative of tension and turning stress inwards instead of releasing it. Beautiful insight, Rob. Beautiful insight. Absolutely. Because that's it. That's the other reason why feeling and expressing our feelings in a healthy way is so important, because if it isn't going out, expressing it outwards in a healthy way, guess what? Chances are we are recycling it back inwards and we're using it against ourselves. It's a way of self-harm in a way. And when we feel attacked, it causes more stress. So, a little self-compassion practice here. If you're feeling tension, just listening to this, just hearing this conversation, please be gentle with yourself. Please be gentle with yourself. Do the best you can to stay in the present moment. Tap, tap, tap. Use your tool the best you can. Notice, right, if you're feeling tension in your body. Even just using your breath. You can use your breath to come back here. So the second step is to move into the intent to learn to love yourself and others. Move into the intent to learn to love yourself and others. Bring compassion into my heart for all feelings, right? There are no bad feelings. None. All feelings that are coming up. This is just information for us to recognize. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling guilt. I'm feeling resentment. I'm feeling sadness. So we can respond to it. With it is information that is asking us, like, hey, can you validate this hurt? Can you validate, I'm feeling guilty and I don't understand why. Why do I feel so guilty? I was just a child, or I was being victimized, right? The feelings are asking for your attention. And really, this is what I love about the inner bonding process and inner child work, is that it's an invitation to learn to love yourself. If love is too big, then accept yourself. How can you, right here, right now, doing the best you can to accept yourself where you are right now? And I see really that's what the healing journey is about. Over and over and over, sometimes baby steps. Am I curious and open to learning how to love? Or am I defending and protecting myself, and then protecting my hurt, trying to control, being run by my fears? Yes, you are, Wanda. You are. And that's it, right? You are, this work is active, right? It isn't just like, yeah, I'm going to read this one book or this article about it, and even though I understand in my mind, it's not enough. It's a very active process, action-oriented. So then the third step is we dialogue with your inner child and our wounded self. And if we haven't connected or identified your inner child at a certain age or a stage where perhaps you were hurt, you can even just dialogue with the hurt, with the feeling, right? Sue says, yes, that's such a big one for me, accepting my feelings and myself when there are difficult feelings. Yes, Sue, right? You've been sharing so beautifully lately, Sue, recognizing that, I believe, right, that you had been told or you've been living out of that since you were struggling, you were doing it wrong, right? That we're right. And we live in a culture where it's not okay to struggle. Like, no one wants to openly share their struggles. Like, that's considered weakness or not good. We're all supposed to be Insta ready all the time. Exhausting, right? So it can be very hard and scary. Yes, because we have to be vulnerable. We have to, be, open up and be, be seen. And that was never safe when we were younger. So in step 3, we ask ourselves these questions. What am I telling myself that is causing myself these feelings? What am I trying to control or avoid? And with that, we identify our false beliefs. Oh my goodness, I had so many crazy, toxic beliefs about myself that once I started digging deep and identifying them, I'm like, no wonder I feel so bad. No wonder I feel so broken. No wonder I feel so depressed. I think I'm the most horrible human being there ever was. And I was actively living out of that going on in my head all day long. And then, of course, I was terrified. Oh my God, if these people only knew the truth about me, they would for sure scatter quickly. Right? Scary in the beginning until we recognize, oh my baby girl, that is such a lie. Of course you're not bad. Of course you didn't make that happen. That wasn't your fault. I am here now. I am your parent and your protector today. And I'm here to tell you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, baby girl, it was never your fault. It was not your fault. Hey, Paul. Right? Yes, Wanda, I hear you. Nothing has taught me as much patience as reparenting myself. This stubborn body, this stubborn trauma brain, thanks, Paul, this hurt heart, right? And this like disconnected, like shameful body, right? It took me such a long time to believe my own words, to believe that the things that I was telling myself, I doubted. You're just saying that, right? So I had to, I am here, sweet body. I am here, sweet body. I am here for you. And I'm so sorry that I have let that inner hatred dialogue go on for this long. It's a lie. It is not the truth. You are a precious soul, as are each and every one of you here. Precious, precious human beings doing the best they can, fighting for your goodness the best you know how with what you got. Absolutely. Everything that we do every single day is in service of survival. The thing is, how we've learned to survive sometimes isn't effective anymore, right? Because maybe that was a while back that we learned this strategy, but it isn't working. Now it may be getting in the way. Now it becomes a way to protect ourselves from the outside world as well as the inside world. So we've built walls inside of our own walls to protect ourselves. So, and then step 4, we dialogue with our higher self, the best version of ourselves, my higher self. And we can even bring in God or universe or spirit into that conversation. What is the truth? And just like I said, no, it wasn't your fault. No, Svava, you are not bad. No, you should not, don't need to hide. You have every right to ask for what you need. You have every right to express your feelings. They're not bad. Right? To ask the truth. Because when I started finally asking myself the truth, I knew in my heart of hearts. I did know. And then, right, we need to take that loving action towards that wounded part who's like, can you just listen to me? Can you just sit with me? Can you just look me in the eye while I'll tell you the things, all the things that you hate about me? It's like, of course, baby girl, I'm here. I'll sit with you. I'll be with you here as long as it takes. Because I'm invested in you knowing the truth. And all those things that are, yes, they are a little scary, but most of them aren't even the truth. And I am here. I am here. I am here to help you understand. And so then, right, it is about building a relationship with that part of you, that inner child. Whether it's a 20-year-old yourself, your inner 20-year-old, your teenage self, your, toddler self, or your infant self. And sometimes it's parts of us like, your resistance or, your inner controller, right? All these parts are here because they're here for a reason. So, but just choose one, just work with one at a time. And then you are intentional about taking loving action towards this part. Like all children, they don't believe our words, our actions. They're paying attention, right? If you've raised kids, it's not about what you say. It's all about what you do. That's what they copy. It keeps us in check, doesn't it? And then the last step is that we evaluate that loving action. And we do that with questions too, like, how do you feel? Do you feel safer? Do you feel more loved by me? Right? I'm the one loving this part of myself. Do you feel more trusting of me? And a few of you have shared this process, right? In the beginning, my inner child did not trust me. Nope, not. It took a long time for me to gain her trust. But I did it because I was relentless. Because I wanted her to know how much I cared and how much I was willing to do this until she believed me, because she was worthy of my love. So I'm going to turn here to the page Sue shared with us in her answering the 2 questions. How have you validated the preciousness of your inner child, and how did your inner child respond? And how have you honored the uniqueness of your inner child, and how did your inner child respond? Sue shared with us, as I read today's page, I was reminded once again of the song I found so moving at the April retreat. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? Oh my God, Sue, I have cried my eyes out over this song. So I get it. I get it. And she goes on to say, and I use these words as I spent some time with my inner child, and there were tears. And I told her I was sorry that for so long I had, failed to notice her beauty and uniqueness in the same way as others had failed to listen to her and hear what it is that she needs and wants. And I promised her I would never try to make her conform to what I thought she should be, as others had in the past. Instead, I'll go on getting to know her and discovering more about her. And the tears stopped. And there was a sense of peace. Makes my heart sing, Sue. Makes my heart sing. So if I can just ask, we started in the beginning here. Thank you so much, Sue. This is just beautiful. Just love how, you are actively using this process to engage in a very healing, special relationship with your inner child, right? And as I asked you when we started here to notice if in your body you felt some tension somewhere in your body, and we don't have to go any deeper than that, but if you just in this moment touch into where you're feeling that, just with your inner awareness, with your inner attention. If you're feeling it in your jaw or your neck or lower back or in your shoulders, just take a couple of deep breaths and go to that spot right there, right then. And just, give it some attention. Just like, yeah, I'm noticing there's some tension in my jaw. Yeah, I'm noticing there's tension in my shoulders. Yeah, I'm noticing there's anxiety or butterflies in my chest. Just be intentional about that. Just acknowledging what is in this present moment. And just staying there, just like this. In your mind's eye, I'm just going to be here, noticing the tension in my neck. Just here, being aware of the tension in my jaw. I'm just here noticing the tension in my lower back, wherever it is for you. And just by being here, just noticing, notice if something shifts. Just notice for yourself and your body. Thank you, Wanda. Yes, Wanda says, happy for your growth, Sue. Thank you for sharing that it is possible for younger selves to be calm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more that we do this exchange, right, between your younger self and your adult self, between your younger self and your higher self, you are developing your strong adult presence, right? That inner self, that hurt self, that little self starts to rely on. And when that little self recognizing, oh, there's somebody here paying attention. Did you notice, right? She notices, I'm trying to get her attention in my neck. I've been trying to get her attention in my chest. I've been trying to get his attention in my gut. He finally noticed. And he just came in with his awareness. That's all we are craving, my friends. A little bit of validation. To be seen, to be heard, to be recognized. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I feel you, I see you, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Sue. I'm shifting my self here in the chair. That's it. It's right, because we are so used to disconnecting from the body, because most of us did not live in our bodies or aware of how we were feeling most of the time. But especially if we recognize there's a chronic tension, chronic holding, chronic fear or anxiety. If you, on your timer, I use my phone a lot for this. If I'm going through something, if I'm moving or something big is happening in my life and I feel like, this body has been through hell and back a few times, it is very good at checking out, especially if things get hard. So I use all the tools that I have at my disposal, the tools that I'm sharing with you guys, and use technology to maybe have it ring a few times during the day. So I'm checking in with myself, right? So how am I really feeling? And sometimes it isn't until we check in that we recognize how we're feeling. And it's interesting, just doing this for you guys right now, I just noticed, oh, there's a little tension between my shoulder blades. And just giving it a little bit of that loving attention while I was inviting you guys to do the same, it already feels better. I didn't even know there was tension there until I brought my awareness to it. Hey, Michelle. No worries, my friend. We're glad you're here. So maybe have your phone, especially right now, the holidays. Oh my gosh, we're running a million miles an hour. Give yourself the gift of a little bit of grace and slowing things down and having your phone ring 4 or 5 times during the day. It's like, yeah, so how am I feeling right now? what is going on with my body? Maybe I can just acknowledge and letting go of a little bit of that tension. So I'd love to hear from you guys if you noticed that shifted for you while we were here together. So thank you, Sue. That was beautiful. Hey, Sharon. Hey, friend. Glad you're here. Hope you had a good holiday. Same for you, Michelle. Wanda shared with us. She says, in answering the questions, I don't know if I validated the preciousness. I'm reading through here. But the preciousness of my child, of my inner child, but I very recently learned how to sit with the younger parts of who I am. I've seemed out to offer others with this process. I've seemed, I'm sorry, Wanda. Give me a minute. You've been reaching out to others to help you with this process and struggling to validate and to heal the hurts. But guide the adult that I am today on nurturing and giving her the compassion she so desperately needed and deserved. The response has changed from complete anger to curiosity from the teenager that hid behind a facade of confidence. I hear you, Wanda, right? Anybody else who played Little Miss Perfect growing up? That was me. I was very good at pretending, putting on an act. I'll take care of you. I'm good at making it look really good so you won't ask. Thank you, Rob. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Sue. So, like Wanda said here, the response has changed from complete anger, right, to curiosity from the teenager that was hiding, right? In the beginning, those inner parts, right, are even angry and maybe are, angry and hurt that we haven't showed up sooner, right? That was one of the hardest things for me is my inner child was no longer hurt about the past. She was hurt because I had taken so long to come and finally show up for her. I didn't know. And of course, I had to, right? It's okay, Svava. You couldn't do it. You didn't know. You didn't know that there was a way to do this. But now that you do know, I'm doing the best I can. And I'm going to do this as often as I can. And of course, I'm perfectly imperfect human. And so often felt like, right, one step forward, two steps back. But any effort on our, from us is felt, as you recognize, by our bodies, about, from our inner child. So Wanda goes on to say here, as far as honoring my inner child's uniqueness, I'm working on that in therapy by creating a safe space that is 100% hers. It's hard and a scary process because I've never felt I've had the right to have a space that was completely mine. Yes, I hear you, Wanda. I hear you, my friend. Absolutely. I hear you. Who else can relate? Wanda says here, I am struggling not to slip back into the pattern of focusing on others instead of myself. Hey, Periscope friends, just a heads up. Thank you for being here. I'm also watching the YouTube channel and the chat over there. So I'm glad you're here. Merry Christmas, Iris. So recognizing that, Wanda, right? how we can do that dance back and forth on days where I find myself more outward focused than inward focused. Yes, caring for others can make us feel better at times. Yes. And there's nothing wrong with balance, my friend. It's just we have to be mindful of, is my focus all outward and I'm ignoring or disconnecting or repressing what's really going on inside? Then that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Hey, from Ukraine, welcome. Glad you're here. Yes, I hear you. Michelle said, Michelle and I have done some inner child work in the past. And that's exactly another way that's very helpful, to separate our, this part with our inner child part. So yes, some ways to do that is to have a stuffed animal or a doll that represents you, and to have it outside of you, and or find yourself pull out a photo of yourself at certain stage of your childhood, and then you are having this dialogue with something outside of you. And I've modeled this a few times for you guys, some of you guys here, is that when you have your little girl out here, and it's amazing what happens when you ask your inner child that's now outside of you, in front of you, what am I doing that makes you feel this way? And they usually will respond. So it's very helpful to separate that dialogue, that back and forth. So at this point now it happens in my head, but to separate it and to have something outside of you. I just feel like when I put myself first, seems that effort never goes unpunished. I hear you. I hear you, Michelle. There you go. Wanda says, my therapist bought me a plush lion. It represents my 16-year-old self. That's beautiful, Wanda. That's exactly it. So maybe you can do that too, as you are going about, out there in the mall or the grocery store, toy shop. Take a look at if you see a stuffed animal that calls to you, or a doll that you feel like in some way represents, you energetically at some stage of your childhood. And, and work with it, get to know it. So it's very, very powerful. Again, helps us to then, reconnect with this part that is longing to be seen, to be heard, to be held. Because this part of us, right, that part kind of knows that you were there, right? All the doubt inside about who we are and what happened, right? Ultimately, it's looking for that validation, and it's looking for it from you, because you were there. So, and I also say to people, sometimes, we worry that once we kind of open up that door, that we're going to just be flooded with memories or feelings. But this little part of you is pretty clever, is pretty smart, and I like to suggest that it never brings up, more than what we're ready to handle. And the thing is, once we start to be there for some of the feelings, a lot of the other feelings kind of go away, because once this wounded part of you recognizes, oh, she's listening. Oh, he finally showed up. Oh, I don't have to pretend to be a grown-up now, because I'm allowed to be a kid. my mom, the parent, has finally showed up to handle the outside world that this inner child was trying to handle for so long and was scared to do because it's just a kid being given all kinds of responsibility without any authority and didn't know how to do it. So anyways, it's very powerful, very helpful. And again, like I said, it helps us to get in touch with our feelings, helps us to safely express those feelings. And at the same time, it helps us develop, really to grow up. I've held that. Wanda says, I've held on to that. You told me that a year ago concerning my teenage self. Yes, Wanda. I am so glad that you are hanging on to that, my friend. You got this. You got this. Do not give up on her, right? And I think you're starting to feel that. You've shared a little bit about that, right? She was very angry in the beginning. My inner child was very angry and hurt. And again, she was mostly angry and hurt that I had avoided to tend to her. I hadn't showed up for her. So once I learned to be more and more consistent, then, my different parts, my inner child, different stages, different ages, slowly started to calm down and to trust me. So, and now, right, all those parts of me know that they're loved because I am now the mama bear for all of those parts. All of those parts. Right? They know I'm not going to hand them over to someone else to love and take care of. They come to me. I'm here to listen, to comfort, to soothe, to take care of. And again, why I am a big advocate of self-care, of relentless self-care. Take really good care of my body because inside of my body, I have these beautiful, beautiful beings, these sweet baby girls that have been a part of me, and they deserve to live in a healthy, calm, loving, gentle, rested, healthy body. So thank you so much, friends, for being here today, for sharing, for commenting. And of course, I pulled a card for us. And today, it's always perfect. One day, she decided to open her hands and receive. Who needed this reminder? Because really, it was through my inner child that I learned that I could safely receive love, that I could safely learn, right? That I was worthy of love, that I was worthy of giving myself the time and attention and the care. That whatever feelings lived inside of this body, I would tend to it. It's okay, baby girl, I got you. It's okay, sweet boy, I'm here for you. Yep, me too. Me too. So, well, thank you, beautiful souls. That's just it. I got this. I will always have this. It's part of who I am. And it saddens me that my family has made me feel that by dealing with this, that I don't matter to them anymore. I am so, so sorry, Michelle. So, so sorry. You're not alone, friends. Can we give Michelle some validation here? You are not alone. And fortunately, right, the people that we want this validation from so badly, it hurts, unfortunately, are not the people that are going to give it to us. Often our family, our community, hey, PJ, right? Where the community where we grew up or where we got hurt, they cannot, they will not. And if anything, they're invested in us keeping us the way we were, because if we change, we rock their boat, we rock their world. So I'm so, so sorry, Michelle, but I'm so glad that you're here. You're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. And this is the fight, meaning like to fight for ourselves, to recognize, okay, I need to do this inside of me. But yes, I do need a support system. I do need other people that are having these conversations. And I need to be in this conversation as often and as much as I can. And again, that's why 365 days, right? Take your power back. Your power is your intention in learning how to love you, no matter what. You are worthy of your time and attention, and to do what it takes, right? To find your authentic, loving, beautiful, magnificent self. So I'm glad you're here, Michelle. So glad that you're here. Yes, right. Thank you, Rob. He says, I can't engage emotionally with my family, so I am protected from hurt, but miss what others have. I hear you. I hear you, my friend. So with that, thank you so much for being here today, for being here for each other as always. If this conversation was helpful or inspiring to you in any way, thanks for the hearts over here on Periscope. Please give me a thumbs up over here on YouTube. And if you want to leave a comment below, I appreciate that. Help me to reach out to more people. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. And look forward to seeing you back here Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same place. Until then, take really good care, my friends. Go out in nature. Do what sparks joy. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, friends. Until then, take good care. And remember, you already have everything that you need to heal and restore. You're welcome, Liz. So good to see you, my friend. I'll see you soon. Thank you. That's right. See, I didn't even look at the calendar before I jumped on here. Until next time. All right, friends. Bye now.